Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Is Difficult, the podcast that's just damn, we're the best. Talk about video games and all this fun stuff that we love. And it's been a while since we've been on. So I believe it's been like 2 weeks, and we're actually not going to be on for what, another 2 weeks?
Probably.
After this?
Holidays, man.
Yeah,
That's going to be our
holidays are
last show
rough.
of the year, everybody. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about some juice today. We give us a little year-end review. And yeah, you know, been a while, so let's catch up. Let's play catch up. What do we got, Paul? What do we got today?
Lord Yeshua in the Fleshwa.
There it is. Someone had to do
He
it.
was like, "Why aren't you saying?"
That's what I did.
Oh yeah. Okay, the people that it's me, Lord Yeshua in the Fleshwa, and then I keep trying to unzoom, and I'm like zooming in more. And we got Paul. We're on Ryugami-san's channel. That's the man I just talked about. I've referred to. Wait, I fucked up my camera, and I'm trying to like fix it now.
Don't worry too much about it. Just keep your face in
All right,
video.
yeah. Keep your eyes on the prize. We got Zach. Another letdown here. Oh yeah, here we go. Wait, I turned my audio on by accident. Okay, now we're good.
Jesus
Everything's
Christ.
just great. All right, I'm not used to doing it on my phone. All right, and yeah, Paul, why don't you make this go away?
Well, guys, as Lord Yeshua in the Fleshwa had previously stated, it's been a few weeks. How you guys been? What games you been playing?
Games, yes.
Yeah, Josh, why don't you fill us in on your life?
I know it's been a while since me and Colin played, but we were playing Banjo-Kazooie, The Jiggies of Time, which we talked about, and we need to stream it, but it's just so fun, and we're just really enjoying our non-streaming like playing of it. It's basically Ocarina of Time, just like slapped with the Banjo-Kazooie engine, and it's fucking amazing. Yeah, it's really awesome. But aside from that, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon, and I'm really savoring it. I'm really enjoying it, honestly, like raising a lot of the new ones.
Yeah.
And I know, Paul, you might have like, I don't know what you feel about this one, actually. So, but you've been playing it lately, too. I'd be interested to hear your...
Yeah, I was literally just streaming it.
Yeah, what did you think here? Yeah, I mean, I love the game, personally.
So, I like it, but I think that they dropped the ball in a lot of ways. Number one, I think that Arceus was a better game in general.
Damn.
It had, so Arceus is missing some things that Scarlet and Violet have, whereas you could say the same thing about Scarlet and Violet. Like, they're missing some cool things that Arceus had, like being able to throw your ball outside of battle and things like that. The frame rate and the graphical fidelity and everything in the game, like the performance, is god awful. Other than that, it's good. I don't really like the school theme, but I understand why they did it. I'm not super far into the game, but I do like everything that I've played so far. You know, there's just a few little annoying things. Overall, it's good. It's fun.
It gets pretty deep, like not as necessarily story, but I feel like the mechanics are like enough to like the gameplay loop is really rewarding, and like a lot of the new, like the meta feels very fresh, which is what I'm kind of into, and it seems rewarding to raise these new ones and kind of like changes your perception of which ones and like which styles are good. Like I was raising a lot of the OGs at first, and then I started like getting introduced to the new ones, and I'm like, oh, these are actually like really cool, like typings and like different new like signature moves and like really cool new abilities on these new Pokemon. So like, yeah, I really like it. I don't know, personally.
Yeah, so like I just did 2 of the Titan missions.
Yeah.
And like the story that you find out is going on in the Titan missions with the dude, I don't want to give too much away because Zach hasn't played it yet. But like that was surprisingly touching, Josh, can you stop fiddling, man?
Huh?
Can you stop
fiddling? Am I messing with it too much?
All we hear is clickety clackety clickety clickety
clickety. I'm not doing anything. I'm literally not even touching my phone.
Really? Okay.
I think something's like live. Like I hear that too on my end. I'm like, what the fuck?
It sounds like you're clicketing and clacketing.
Dude, not at all. That's literally
feedback from us talking.
It's feedback, I think.
Oh,
can you put headphones in, Josh?
Yeah, put your headphones in.
Oh, yeah, good call. I didn't even think of that. All right, hang tight. Keep talking.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Zach, why don't you tell us about your week while he's figuring out his headphone situation?
So I've been playing a whole bunch of Mega Man 7. I'm stuck as hell on the final boss, and it's driving me absolutely bananas. But
we should have told Josh to mute his phone before he left.
Yeah, we probably should have done that. But I'm going to push through it because we're professionals here. Gosh darn it. I've also been playing Mass Effect 2. I am one mission away from done, and unfortunately oh yeah, you could. You good? You got it?
No, not yet, but
no. Okay.
Continue.
All right.
Talking.
Well,
it's
so
fine.
I'm on the suicide mission at the end of Mass Effect 2, and the wind that has been plaguing the Northeast of the last couple of weeks knocked my stream out. In fact, it knocked my God of War stream out last time too. Which brings me to my other point. I've been playing God of War Ragnarok, which has been pretty rad.
There we go.
Mostly.
I muted him.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, God of War Ragnarok, I have some opinions about early on. I'm about a third of the way through the game, the main story right now.
Mm-hmm.
After like 3 or 4 streams. It hasn't taken me very long. It's pretty straightforward, just like the last game. But they added some segments to it that suck. Like, there is no other word for it. They suck.
I've heard that.
You take control of Atreus,
mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to explain why or how, but his segments are just these interminable expose scenes that are horrendous.
Are you seeing this fella?
I am seeing this fella. Okay. That was odd. Yes, they're these awful drawn out, like very low combat, not even particularly difficult puzzles. It's just Atreus being a whiny teenager. And they are awful. I get what they're there for. They're meant to show you that he's growing up, he can function on his own.
Yeah.
But the reality of the situation is he can't. The game does not function when you are not controlling Kratos. So 2 streams in a row, I was just like, this is not motivating to play. Like, the first time I was using Atreus, I was like, okay, I'm just going to soldier through this and get as far as I can. The second time, I'm like, I actually don't want to pick this game up right now.
All right, I would rather Josh.
Yep. Okay. I would rather
we can't hear him anyway. So
yeah.
Continue.
I would rather just play Mass Effect. Which is really upsetting because in general, when I'm playing as Kratos and just smashing my way through the 9 realms, it is a great game and we're having a great time.
Right.
But when you take control of Atreus, it's just like, this is awful. And I did Google like the chapter titles because I was curious to see how far into the game I was. And there's very clearly some other Atreus segments that I'm just not looking forward to.
Yeah.
And that really, like, when I do the review for that game,
Josh, we can't hear
I'm gonna do a double review of both God of War and Ragnarok. I'll give my score on the original because it's going to be a noticeable difference.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've heard the same from a lot of people who have played it. I haven't played it myself yet at all, but yeah, I've heard
it's upsetting.
Similar.
It's really upsetting.
Josh, it might be that I don't know. I've never done OBS Ninja on an iPhone, or whatever type of phone you're using, but I'm guessing that you need to select your input.
The mic input, yeah.
Yeah.
What else? So in other, or I guess we'll do current events, right?
Well, I haven't really talked about what I.
Okay, then I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now. So in other news, I have started to take handheld console repair commissions.
Nice.
I have my first one coming in Friday.
Oh yeah.
And I've collected a few others that I will be refurbishing and selling. So anybody watching this, hit us up. Paul can certainly direct you to me for that. Yeah. I'm very, very excited to be offering that.
I've been thinking about refurbishing at least one of the 2 of my DMGs, and also my my Game Boy Color, I think would be dope to do. And
I think I had this idea. I think I can 3D print a bracket that will allow me to put the Game Boy Color innards in a DMG.
Yeah,
that's my white whale.
Yeah.
I really want to do that. But so right
now,
do the
buttons line up though?
They don't, but I think I can make it work. I can 3D print a board that will work.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be complicated, and I need to learn a little bit more. But yes, Sonvar is my first in chat right now. Is my first customer. He's commissioned me to do a Game Boy Advance SP, and I'm very excited. He's also sending me my his old DMG as part of his payment. So that's really cool. I'm very excited about that. And then my wife's coworker just handed me another DMG, and I've got another coworker of my own who is also commissioning a DMG.
Nice.
So I'm well underway. This is all
dude. I have an SP. I might do too. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got 2 SPs back here.
I've done my own. Like I did the refurb on my GBA.
Yep.
And I love it. There's one thing that I don't like about it, which is
hello.
Hey,
yes, we can.
Okay.
There's like a delay. There's like a second delay. But it's
DMG is the original Fat Boy Game Boy Blink.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just really fond of this. It's a great activity that I can just do from anywhere in the house. Like most of my miniatures painting, my music, my 3D printing, all that stuff has to happen in my office. But my retro console repair can happen in anywhere in the house. So I can hang out with my wife and tinker with things, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's a neat hobby.
It is. Like I said, I did my Game Boy Advance, and it was just a drop in. It was pretty easy to do. I am scared to try soldering.
Yeah, of course.
And it does take, like, I had a great teacher. Shout out to my best friend's dad, Jim. He was my engineering teacher in high school, and he taught me everything I ever needed to know and more about soldering. So I'm really very confident in my soldering ability.
So the mods don't look difficult for most of them, and they very well could be a good starting point for learning to solder and stuff. But I'm still, I don't know. I'm afraid I'm gonna mess it up.
Yeah,
but
I'll be honest with you, Paul. I wouldn't start soldering there.
Yeah.
They're actually a lot. So I've got a Game Gear on my workbench. Actually, my best friend's Game Gear. But I've been hesitant to do it because it's not a small undertaking.
Yeah, maybe don't start with something that needs reliance on it working. If you mess it up.
I did the Game Boy Pocket, and that required soldering, and it was fine, but I need to get like a wires kit, because the ones that obviously this isn't going to show up on stream, but like the wires that I have are just way too small. So
yeah,
I need to buy some more supplies.
We'll
just
see.
like general supplies.
But yeah, anyway, I've been hesitant. And also on my Game Boy Advance one, there's there's like a touch sensor to change the brightness, which is cool, except for it's constantly being activated.
Yeah, on its own. When you don't want it to be.
Yeah,
I actually soldered around. So there's one on the Pocket that you can do as well. I soldered around that to I literally just made it redundant, because first of all, my niece is never going to use it.
Yeah, I might just cut the damn thing off. I don't know if that would mess it up or.
It does, because there is current running through it. I can show you how to solder around it. It's not hard.
Well, it's not. So it's basically it's part of the ribbon cable from the screen.
Yeah.
So
you still have to put a jumper around it to ground it.
So okay, gotcha. Yeah.
But it's
maybe that's what I need to do. Yeah, because it's a little irritating. Like I always want to play on the highest brightness.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
Yeah. So
did you put a rechargeable battery in it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you should. Yeah. That's a fun mod.
Maybe.
And it doesn't require any.
I've got rechargeable batteries that I use in
it. Fair enough.
But anywho, I've been playing still a lot of Call of Duty. I've been doing the Pokemon Scarlet thing, which I love.
Yeah.
I haven't played much else in the way of video games lately. I just haven't had much time. Holidays are crazy, you know. But
really
I will.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that I'm gonna stop streaming this before I'm done with it, so that I can do what Josh is doing and really just dig in and enjoy it.
Yeah. Really taking my time with it.
Yeah, because I feel like trying to keep a decent pace for streaming isn't really conducive for a game like that. At least not for me. I'm not like a PokeTuber.
No, I'd spend like an hour
like,
raising like one guy,
Nuzlocke and shit like that. So So yeah, I'm probably gonna do that at some point and then switch over to God of War. But yeah, so anywho, that's all I've been doing. Other than that, I don't know if I've talked to you guys. Did we do a podcast since I came back from vacation? I guess we did the one, right?
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, so that was cool. Christmas is coming up, the whole shebang. So
it's nuts.
Anyone have any current events? Zach kind of did hit. Did you have something else?
I do. I have another one.
Oh yeah, okay.
And that is we have a launch window for Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it is fall next year. Is what I saw.
Didn't you just finish playing?
I just
when did that
finished.
One come out? 2000.
Well, it came out a while ago.
21.
On PS4, but it just came out on PC. That might be what you're thinking of. And this is so just like the first one. It's going to be a PlayStation exclusive for at least a while.
It's gonna be Spider-Man game,
and I am going to be like, it lines up kind of perfectly because like I'll have finished the Mass Effect trilogy by then. I'll certainly have finished God of War. I wouldn't be surprised if I get one more game in there in between, and then we'll dive right back into Spider-Man on my stream, and I'm so excited about it. Like I could not be Venom, Kraven, like. I'm so excited.
Dude, I'm sure that game is awesome. And I know a lot of people who, when it came out, picked it as their game of the year. But like,
I wouldn't have put it as
everything that I've seen of that game looks so boring to me. I don't know why.
No, it was good.
I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I did a lot of stuff
off, like, damn, this looks pointless.
There is a fair amount of, like grindy stuff that happens, but I did it all off camera. So it was just like idle gaming basically. And then the actual story, the plot and action therein was really fun.
Across the fights were really
I mean, I've heard literally nothing but good things about it. I'm just going off of what I've seen. I'm like, But I've never been a huge Spider-Man fan to begin with.
Okay, that's reasonable. I get
Spider-Verse.
I love Spider-Verse, and I actually like the new movies with what's his nuts,
Tom Holland,
Nathan Drake,
Tom Holland,
Nathan Drake.
No, he's not Nathan Drake. Nathan Drake was in that gosh darn movie.
He was, yeah.
That was a joke.
Tom Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland. I like those, but like Spider-Man as a character in general, I've never been too keen on. So I don't know. Maybe that's.
I kind of like him more as a character than how he's being portrayed, like in the media. Like I enjoy him more as like a character than I do as a game and stuff. I don't know. That's just me. I like the Batman stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Batman stuff's cool. Yeah. Too bad those other Bat Family games.
Is my mic working well? By the way.
Yeah, it's synced up. For a minute, you were like a second or two behind.
Okay,
it's synced up now.
Yeah, no, it's good now.
Okay, we're good.
So yeah, that was my big current event. I'm very excited about that Spider-Man game.
Nice.
No word on when Wolverine drops. Paul, I know you're a little more excited about Wolverine than Spider-Man.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah, I'm very very psyched for Wolverine.
I'm excited for that.
One of my entry points into comic books, so I'm very excited to actually bring him out on a mission somewhere.
Yeah. Josh, did you have any current events?
Current events. I mean, I'm moving. There's like so much going on in my life. I'm just like, gaming. I don't really have any. The Mario movie looks great. I saw that we got the trailer.
I actually think it looks great too. People are shitting on it because of Chris Pratt and everything, but I actually thought it looked super fun. The one thing that I
will say, every time he opens his mouth, it's like, wow, that's stupid.
The voice doesn't bother me at all.
The movie looks awesome. Really? Kind of bothers me.
It bothers me.
Okay, well, I'll talk about what bothers us. Zach, you first. Go.
The only thing that bothers me is that Charles Martinet is in it.
Okay.
That's all. Like, if he is, he's in the credits. I paused the
He's
credits.
Not even Mario though.
Trailer. I know, and he's not Mario. So it's
maybe he has to be as accredited as Mario legally.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
Josh, is your gripe the same?
Fine.
My gripe is that it's not even a gripe. Like, I think it's going to be good, but I do think it's like just strange that he goes in and out of being like Chris Pratt from Brooklyn, and instead of like any of it being Mario. Like Charles Martinet, honestly, he could have been a silent protagonist. It's a movie, I get it, but like, I would have been cool if he didn't really talk much and was just like, okay, okie dokie. I don't really give a shit. I'm just saying it for like
I've got a legitimate gripe.
Brain stimulating action.
Yeah. So like, here's my gripe, and it has nothing to do with the voice. The voice doesn't bother me. I don't know why. I'm not like super attached to Charles Martinet. He's cool in the game, so that's great. Fine, whatever. Who cares? It's a fucking movie. They didn't get the guy to that did voice Sonic's voice to do Sonic. You know what I'm saying? Like
Sonic doesn't have a voice.
I know.
Sonic literally doesn't have a voice.
I'm being hyperbolic a little bit. Anyway, but
in Sonic Adventure 2 he did. Yeah. And Adventure 1 maybe.
Yeah. So which is pretty close to the same time period that we started.
That was in 2001.
Yeah. Yeah, just like 5 years after we started hearing Charles Martinet do Mario. So,
but anyway. Charles Martinet is still Mario, is what I'm saying. That's the only difference. But anyway, okay, go on.
My actual gripe with this game is
that
Mario from the trailer, and I'm sure he goes through this journey of becoming, the badass hero that we know. Actually. But from the trailer, he seems like a huge klutz.
An idiot, yeah.
And an
idiot.
Like
this. I like the progress.
I don't, and this is why. Because in none of the games is he like that. In all of the games, he's like super athletic, precise platformer. Like,
but the player isn't.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, that's an interesting point, Josh. Well done.
That's fair.
As you get better and more knowledgeable about the movie, Mario gets better.
Okay, and maybe that's where they were going with this, but still, regardless.
I agree. Me and Colin actually noticed that, and when we watched the trailer, we were like, "Okay, he looks like an idiot, and he's dumb in the beginning, but I bet he becomes a god
clumsy.
At the end."
Like I don't care about him being clumsy. Dumb. He could be silly and dumb. He could be freaking Homer Simpson for all I care. Yeah. I don't care. But he should be athletic and he should be accurate and be able to do what Mario does.
I think he is, but he's just not used to the environment because it's his first time in the Mushroom Kingdom is what we're seeing. But dude, I bet like even in the beginning there's gonna be like some shit where he's like kind of nuts, and then like towards the end he's just gonna be like throwing fireballs and wall jumping and doing like insane kickflips, and we're gonna see like crazy Mario shit. It'll be good, I think. But
he's gonna be doing 360 no scopes.
But if he's basically like the original Mario movie in a cartoon form, then that'll be really dumb. And if it's like that the whole way, then I'll be like, why would you have done that? But yeah, I think it'll be better than you're thinking. I think it's more for the comedy.
I don't think it's going to be bad. I think it looks great. That was the one thing that
looks great.
Bugged me when I first saw it. Anyway, let's get into the meat of it. We're not going to go deep on the Game of the Year stuff because we kind of already did that, and we all know. Yeah. So we'll just, I'm not even going to talk about
that.
So
we won together, yeah. Or did you think it was going to be God of War?
You and Paul certainly did. I was hedging a little bit, but let's be real here.
I was hedging slightly.
Of course, Elden Ring is the game.
I don't understand how anyone could consider any of the other games for that category.
No, that's nuts. Yeah,
the real question to me becomes, what is the second place? Because that's where
certainly not.
It's
Stray.
Not that good.
Zach, I
don't think there is a second place.
I hear your opinion and I understand that it's got those shitty moments, but from everything that I've heard, regardless of that, it's a phenomenal game. So,
I would not disagree in any way, but I do think those interminable segments, because they're really long, like 2 hours long, really holds it back. It really
talking about I missed it like completely.
Yeah, Josh, you did. I was talking about how God of War Ragnarok has these just absolutely unending, awful Atreus segments where you're just playing.
That sounds awful.
And they're terrible. Like aggressively terrible.
Oh well, that really probably would help. That sucks. That's like kind of like how Metroid Dread had like the Emmy scenes, and like we all loved the game, but then when we go to play it again, we're like, these scenes suck.
Yes,
like
they're not fun.
But the Emmy scenes are at least
people omit this. people omit this from their brain that these parts suck because the overarching game was like really good, you know. So
this is not.
But there are definitely bad parts. It's not. Oh
no, they're long and boring, and there's no. It's just walking and gathering stuff. It's like, do not do this in gaming 101.
How many hours of the game is that? Probably like 30.
I've done 2 hours of it already.
Yeah, sounds
awful. And more, because there was another segment that it was like short and just kind of showed you how the mechanics work with Atreus. And I really do think it holds it back from being game of the year for me.
Anywho, let's so what we're gonna do with the Game Awards stuff is I'll just go through the categories. We'll say what was the winner. Not even gonna really talk about the other games that were nominated. That way we're not spending for fucking ever. We don't need to repeat the Game Awards. Everyone already fucking saw it. So you got Game of the Year, obviously Elden Ring's the winner. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
Best game direction was also Elden Ring. Totally deserved, I think. That
I completely agree that. Yeah.
Best narrative went to God of War, which having not played it.
No. The narrative is incredible.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Okay. Flawless. I can trust that, honestly. Yeah, I can trust that.
Yeah. And I could see why people argued for Elden Ring's narrative, but I
also
you
kind
really
of feel
have
like
to
potentially, but
like it's so like you have to really be paying very, very close attention.
Yes and no.
Yes and no, honestly.
Because part of the narrative is your experience. Like you're creating the narrative, and that's kind of why it's so genius.
That's hard to quantify. That's really hard to quantify.
Yeah, agree.
It is because it's like such a spread adventure that like in hour 150, I'm discovering new NPCs and new quest lines, and you're like, okay, does this add to the narrative? You know what I mean? Like, is that part of it? Because technically, it's just so long that it's hard to quantify. Whereas God of War is very condensed, and you have an ending, and it's like.
Although I guess as of this, like I think this morning, someone found a hidden ending to God of War.
An Elden Ring? God of War.
No, to God of War in like the source code somewhere.
Cool.
Like some.
So maybe it's. Oh wow, very cool.
It was a rejected, like a recorded and like produced ending, but they rejected it at the last minute or something.
Oh, okay. So that's not really a hidden ending.
It's not one that you can unlock. It's a data mine ending.
Maybe it was a potential alternate ending, or it was a potential like original ending, and they just scrapped it because they're like, nah, let's do it better.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Best art direction also went to Elden Ring. Makes sense.
Yes.
Best score and music, God of War.
What?
No, God of War has really good music.
So it does.
Best audio design also went to God of War. Best performance also went to God of War. Christopher Judge.
Actually,
honestly,
I agree with that. Yeah.
Totally. Cast him in the show, please.
Games for Impact. Dusk Falls. Never even heard of it. Best ongoing game went to Final Fantasy 14. Makes sense.
No idea. Okay.
Let's see here. Best indie went to Stray, which I think is a fucking abomination.
I think that's not
especially when you got. This is one I am gonna mention the other ones in the category. You got Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, and Tunic. Come on, all of these games are better than Stray.
All are better. Yeah. It's the hype behind Stray, and people's girlfriends were playing this game and shit. You know what I mean?
My girlfriend played it. My wife played it, and she fucking hated it.
That's what I'm saying, but the bought it still. You know what I mean? Bought into the hype. Sure. Like, and then people are just like whatever on it.
Yeah. Best mobile game is Marvel Snap. Best community support went to Final Fantasy 14. Innovation and accessibility went to God of War.
Accessibility on a fucking 2 consoles. Okay, whatever.
Well,
that doesn't even make sense, actually.
So the accessibility stuff is like your colorblind settings and like your different like play modes that allow you to play it in different ways to so people with disabilities can get so
things that unfortunately we don't have like perspective on.
I think so.
All right. Let's see. Best VR goes to Moss Book 2, which I think like only like 500 people have played. Not that it's not good. It's just that no one plays VR games.
Yeah, literally.
I like Colin here. You say that.
I mean, does Colin even play very many VR games anymore?
Not really. Not like casually. More so. Yeah. Only when something really good comes out, I think.
Right.
One sec, guys.
Yeah, you're fine. Awkward silence.
Sorry. I'm Chelsea and I are trying to figure out what we're doing for dinner, so I was texting her. All right, best action game, Bayonetta 3.
Disagree.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got some other really great stuff. Well, God of War wasn't part of the wasn't nominated. I mean, but you got Call of Duty, you got Neon White, you got Sifu, and you got Ninja Turtles. I think Sifu and Ninja Turtles could easily beaten Bayonetta, but I do hear Bayonetta's dope, so I don't know.
It's a beat 'em up.
And so I've been thinking more about Turtles.
It's like old God of War.
Because I did get my physical copy in of Turtles at some point, and
I still haven't gotten mine.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, is yours? You got the Super Deluxe one?
I got not the Super. I got the one down from that.
Okay, so that's probably
come out like 6 months ago.
Yeah, the physical copy was still it was limited run, so it comes out later.
Oh wow.
But I was thinking more about it, and I'm like, as much as I loved this game, like, it is kind of niche. Like, not every gamer is as into the Turtles as super niche. Paul, at least you and me.
Sure.
Josh, I don't know about you, but
well, and kids these days don't have the exposure to Ninja Turtles that we did.
Exactly. It's a very.
I agree. Yeah.
I would say, like, as much as it came out in 1984, it is very much 90s property.
Yeah.
Like, it hit big in the 90s.
Best action adventure, which I don't know why they. I mean, I kind of get why they separate the two. I guess an action adventure is a little more, narrative driven than just an action game. But that did go to God of War.
Maybe
let's
disagree, kind of.
Best role playing
adventure should have been Elden Ring. Like, come on, the whole purpose of the adventure.
Elden Ring can't sweep the entire game.
Yes, it can. Lord of the Rings did. Like,
well, it did win best role playing game, which so they
RPG.
Yeah,
so we're at 4 so far. Yes.
Yep. Which is the next one. Let's see. Best fighting game went to Multiverses, which I think that's a crock of shit too, considering you've got like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and DNF Duel and King of Fighters in there. That's crazy to me.
Donkey and other people were like popularizing Multiverses, and like it was kind of meme-ish for a while.
I think
feel like
Donkey is so freaking mid. Like,
I think he's funny.
I mean, I don't even think he's that funny.
Gen Z Paul over here. All things mid.
Yeah,
anyway,
he agrees with my taste in gaming. I like that he likes Banjo-Kazooie and old Donkey Kong and stuff like that.
Okay, sure. Kirby won best family game. That's fine.
I'll take it.
Sure.
2 wins for Nintendo.
Best sim and strategy. You got Mario, Rabbids, Sparks of Hope.
Okay, that's another win.
Best sports racing, Gran Turismo 7. Best multiplayer, Splatoon 3.
I kind of agree, because it's not Fortnite for once.
Literally don't care about content creator of the year. We're not even going to do that.
We're not going to read that.
Best debut indie. This one, best indie and best debut indie is Stray. That's fucking bananas.
Tunic, bro. What does debut mean? That it's just like
it's the company's first game, I would assume.
Oh, well then, yeah.
Well, Tunic was in that category too. Actually, like this should have gone to Vampire Survivors, honestly, but whatever. Best adaptation, Arcane, League of Legends. I hear that's actually really good, but I would have voted for Cyberpunk because that shit's dope.
Didn't it come out 2 years ago? No, I guess not.
I don't know. Most anticipated game went to Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
It's our 5th award.
Nice. Best esports.
Yeah, we all want Zelda.
Yeah, best esports game went to Valorant.
Was that an esports game? Oh, esports, not sports. I got
esports athlete. We don't care.
Nope.
Esports team. We don't care. Esports coach. We definitely don't care. Esports event. We also don't care. And that's it.
Actually,
so that's the game awards, guys.
How do you be a coach? You're just keep playing. Drink your Red Bull. Like, what the fuck? Are there like game plans and shit?
Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah.
You got it. Like, it must be like booking and arranging of like.
Yeah, like your manager more so, I'd say.
So
but it could be like strategy.
No, you know what? Actually, yeah.
Circle back.
So, yeah. I was gonna say, I used to listen to a Destiny podcast actually. That they were like specifically PvP oriented. And they actually used to talk to a sports psychologist. They'd bring a sports psychologist on and talk to that person, about like strategy, mindset, flow state, like all those types of things. So I think in the realm of esports, there's definitely room for coaching for sure.
So, yeah, I agree with that, Paul. Like the closest I ever got to playing esports was StarCraft back in the day. I did play some competitive StarCraft.
Oh, wow.
We did need to, do a lot of research. Now this is before, the internet that we know and love today. But we had to, read, strategy articles and, figure out, have planning meetings and stuff like that. And we definitely could have benefited from having someone who knows that strategy, doesn't necessarily play the game, isn't boots on the ground playing the game, but is like looking at it from a critical standpoint. Like, okay, this team did this team did that. This is how we counter that, so yeah, I can see a role of coaching there, but is it worthy of Game Awards stuff?
Some dumb sounding stuff. Makes it sound like a joke, kind of, if I'm being honest. That kind of stuff.
Does. Yeah, it just sounds odd.
So, I'm thinking about how we talk about our year in review, and I'm thinking
our year in review. Oh,
our year in review, right? Or the year in review. Why don't we start out with our favorite game this year?
We're all going to say Elden Ring.
Hang on. The game that most surprised us this year, and then the game we're most looking forward to next year.
Love it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
So can I change one of those? Can I change one of those?
Yeah. Let's say
instead of because we're all going to say Elden Ring for our best game of the year. Let's be honest here, but let's say our most the game that brought us the most enjoyment that isn't Elden Ring of the year.
Oh, we could do both. Yeah. We could say what we loved about it too, also, because we all want to talk about Elden Ring for 5 seconds each. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
So collectively, that's fair. All of our favorite games this year was Elden Ring. The game's amazing.
Yeah.
The game is endlessly fun.
It's so good.
Endless options for how you want to play, your build, your story, your everything. It's just so good. The discovery. It's something that I typically don't like about old open world games is the exploration aspect, because in most cases it's so barren and so boring and repetitive, but in Elden Ring it's just constantly rewarding you.
It's compact. Each area of the map has a dungeon, and underneath there's a subworld, and there's things compact. And when you turn left, there's another cave over there. Everything is everywhere in this game, and you can get so easily lost without ever getting lost. And before you know, you're 40 hours off the main trail, and you're like, oh wow.
But you're not even mad. That's something that bugs me about other games that are in the open world category. For instance, the reason I've never gotten anywhere in Witcher 3 is because I'll start playing that game and I'm like, I want to play the story. And then there's 10 fucking things at least that are going on, and I'm like, I don't know where the hell I'm supposed to go. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. I'm getting killed by shit that I probably shouldn't be messing with. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and this is not fun, And that's typically what happens to me in most open world games. The two exceptions in recent times that I could mention would be Elden Ring and fucking Ghost of Tsushima.
Yep.
Which Elden Ring really rewards you for exploration.
I feel like Elden Ring, the developers of Elden Ring, was FromSoft. They must have consulted a psychologist, because that game, someone who understands. Hold on, Paul.
Yeah.
Someone who understands what it means to feel rewarded, because you're absolutely right. Every single moment of that game is rewarding. You never feel like you're dragging your feet.
So I don't disagree with that, but to me, having played other FromSoft games extensively, it feels like they just built several of those and just glued them together. You know what I mean?
Because that's how, honestly.
Because the Dark Souls games and Sekiro and shit like that, they're very much like Elden Ring in the sense that there's always discovery, there's always surprises, there's always but it's all confined. Whereas in Elden Ring you're unconfined, and they just took those spaces and just made several of them instead of one, and just glued them all together in a concisive way, Yeah. But to your point, it takes a lot of thought and a lot of consideration, and very well psychology to be able to pull something like that off.
I truly don't know how this world was created. They must have had hundreds of people on each segment. Like,
it feels like that, but
insane.
Josh, I bet you they didn't. Like, this just seems like lightning in a bottle to me.
To clarify something,
I'm wrong.
Let me clarify something about Witcher 3, by the way. It's not that Witcher 3 isn't rewarding, it's that it's distracting in a way that wasn't positive to my experience. So that's what I more.
You just played Gwent the whole time?
Yeah. No, well, I mean, in some cases, sure, but like they didn't do the same thing that Elden Ring and freaking Ghost of Tsushima did, in the sense that like your path forward is always very clear for the most part. And the little side things are things that you can get done quickly and move back to what you were doing without having forgotten what the fuck you're doing or what you want to be doing.
Yeah.
Which I don't think many open world games do very well. So, and that, like I said, it's not to say that the really side quests and stuff in Witcher 3 aren't rewarding. It's just that everything felt more distracting than it did rewarding. So,
kind of Breath of the Wild, dude. You have to admit it. Come on, I know I've said this before.
For sure, Breath of the Wild's the same. Yeah, I feel very much like that about Breath of the Wild. Yeah, the same way I feel about Witcher 3.
That's more what I meant when it was like Breath. Is like that's more what I felt. It was like completely free, but you always had a clear task, and like there was a clear way forward, but you could always explore elsewhere. And like
I was actually
that's more
comparing Breath more to Witcher 3, but I can see the argument on either side.
You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But either way,
I felt very driven.
Game's incredible
to discover Breath. What was going on in Breath of the Wild, just because I had no other games to play, and I was excited to be playing a Zelda game again. But once that all wore off, I was excited at first, I couldn't play it anymore. So
I am really excited for Tears of the Kingdom, though. I'm not gonna lie, even though it could very well be the same thing where it's just like Zelda hype.
I'm so hoping
and like I would hate for
they
two
reel
Zelda
it in a little bit.
Two in a row is really bad, because that's like, you know what I mean, two like bad ones in a row, or like not true to the form.
You know what makes me feel good about it?
I think it's gonna be a beloved game either way, though.
You know what makes me feel good about it is the focus that they've put on that sword, that decayed sword.
Yeah,
it makes me think that you have that at least through most of the game, and it's a permanent weapon. An
unbreakable weapon would be really cool. Yeah.
So
it could be you have to keep it charged or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Any number of things. I also like the emphasis on the story. Right, the story emphasis right off the bat is like a big deal as well.
Yeah. All right. So favorite gaming experience of the year. So it doesn't have to be a game that actually came out this year that is not Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Paul,
actually, Zach, that's a really good point. Is that our year in review doesn't have to be games that came out this year.
Right. Exactly.
Oh no. Oh, okay.
Because it's our game. Our year.
Yeah, exactly. This is our year.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
So Paul, kick us off.
Honestly, for me,
I'm just kidding.
It was the samurai games that I played this year. I for the first time ever got to play freaking Kengo 3, which I've wanted to play all of my life.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. And I've got a modded PlayStation 2 that allows me to do these types of things, and it was just a fucking blast doing Samurai Saturday this year. Digging into all those classic samurai games, in particular, Kengo 3, even though it was a struggle because it's all in Japanese. I had a really fun time, and it was super rewarding for me to be able to experience that. So,
yeah.
Josh, what about you?
So yeah, honestly, I do have two, because what were the other questions? I think I'm just gonna use both my dual answer here.
Our most rewarding experience of this year in gaming, what game surprised us the most this year, and then what game we're looking most forward to next year.
Okay, so for this one, I will do a duel. Honestly, I had the most fun playing my mods with Colin. That was like freaking awesome.
Yeah.
We had all these incredible banjo mods, especially like in the last few months. We've really been doing like a roulette of these just incredible banjo mods and just digging into the deepest cut possible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's awesome to see where some of these mods went. But I will say another one that I really loved that actually did come out this year, just to put that on the map, would be the Cuphead DLC, which I was looking forward to for years. And that, as far as something that came out this year, is easily, and a lot of these mods did come out this year too, in their defense. But Cuphead DLC, as far as like a true company making something, that was like an entire brand new game for me. That was incredible to be able to play Cuphead again in a new way, and that blew me away completely. That was like maybe even like Elden Ring withstanding, that might have been my favorite quote unquote game that came out this year.
Yeah,
was that DLC? Like, no joke, so good.
Yeah, for me it's also a two-part answer. Well, you know what? Actually, I'll save one for surprising, because you asked about surprising. So my best gaming experience of the year was just the time, like while I was had to do the late night holds and stuff with my daughter. I watched a ton of Metroid, both speed runs and ROM hacks. And I learned a ton about just things about that game that I never knew existed, things you could do, things that the developers kind of never intended. And it really gave me a good insight into just a new insight into my favorite game franchise, or one of my favorite game franchises. So that is my best moment in gaming this year.
I'm glad Metroid is being repopularized.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I've talked to a lot of my students now who have played Dread, and that are seeing the same frustration that we felt when we were kids playing Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion. It's nice to see them embracing that frustration, understanding that games can be challenging, and they're not all just Fortnite.
You get those little buggers to play the whole series. It's
so good. I have one kid who's done it.
The thing that I like the most about Metroid Dread is how it ties the whole series together so well. I was so surprised. Like the second I saw like the X, virus or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, dude.
Pop up the X parasite. And then they tied in everything else, and like, because I honestly was a little bit I don't know what the word is. I wouldn't say disillusioned.
Apprehensive.
I wasn't apprehensive. Maybe I wasn't super into the game because of some of the mechanics until that point. But once I got to that point, I was sold.
Yeah, dude. So I agree. Yeah, it was just the story really hammered the nail into the coffin.
And that ending is so badass.
The ending is absurd.
It's the ultimate testament to showing respect to a franchise.
Yeah. They did an amazing job. Yeah.
And even if it wasn't a flawless in every way thing, you know what I mean? They like really tried. They put the Nintendo elbow grease into it, and you can see it shows. And they're really trying to bring it back. I'm very excited for Metroid Prime 4 if we ever fucking get it. But now people have Metroid on their radar. It's cool.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Josh, what was the game that surprised you the most this year?
Honestly, it's Pokemon. I was really, really coin flipping on this one, and I was prepared to be playing a bad game. Everyone I talked to, I was like, we weren't unsure if this game is going to be good. It was kind of the Paper Mario of the year for me, but I would say it even is more of a success in my mind than that. I understand all the glitches and it's not super advanced compared to the old ones, and it's not like leagues ahead, and it's not the future necessarily yet of Pokemon, but we're making baby steps. And it's really a fun time for me. And it surprised me of how good and like how much I got sucked into it. Mm-hmm. Like at first I like really kind of like grinded through. I felt like in the beginning with the tutorial and stuff like that. And then once I was like out in the open, like just catching and
slog.
Yeah, the tutorial's a slug. And then once I was like, I would say like 7 to 10 hours in, I was like, no, I'm like fucking obsessed with this game. Like it is really awesome now. And like I said, it has any way and type of like way to do things as you want. Like if you want to like hatch eggs, if you want to like be the cutesy Pokemon trainer or whatever, if you want to like raise them competitively like me, it's very easy in this one to like breed EVs correctly and IVs and all that. And there's just like a lot of, quality of life enhancements, just even the start menu. You see what I mean, Paul? Like the start screen itself like has a lot. You can rename on the fly. There's just like some minor quality of life enhancements. Yeah, press the X button on summary.
Oh, I had no idea. There's some Pokemon I'm probably going to rename.
There are things you can rearrange your moves. You can instead of having move retutor guy, you can just retutor your moves anytime on the summary screen.
No fucking way.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Literally press
Paul's out here doing learning and growing
Paul's
right
like,
now.
Wait. Yeah, so I was literally reading.
I notoriously don't pay attention to tutorials though. Especially if I'm streaming the game. So
I didn't learn that in the tutorial. I literally was renaming my Shellos when I was catching a Gastrodon. I was like naming them all the same thing over and over again. And then I fucking like 20 hours later was like, wait, you can just not name them and then just name them later. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, fuck.
That's great.
So yeah, and then you can move your moves around. Yeah. Oh, there's just like minor things. It kind of feels like Link's Awakening to me, where like, I hate to say, but the Switch is kind of doing this where like I kind of thought this was Sword and Shield a little, but this one I really feel like it's like red and blue, like done in an open world with like a slew of mechanics from the timeline and like a slew of Pokemon from the timeline. I guess
I'm not far enough into the game to agree with that statement, but
no, it just feels like kind of a return to form.
It does feel good
with all the quality of life. Yeah.
Except it feels terrible to play at the same time. Like that game plays like shit, but it is a fun game.
It plays, and I'd say the farther you get in, the more quality of life enhancements there actually are. So, and you get more like into it just because you're like, I kind of like this. So that's for me, like kind of like knocked my socks away the most. And it's not like a 10 for me for sure. It's not like, the best it could be, but for me, most surprised by that. Yeah. Who's next?
Zach, what's your most surprising game?
So my most surprising was Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge dropped midsummer. And I mean, the timing was absolutely perfect. We were able to line up such that Paul and Adam and Shamali and I were able to play together. And it was that same, like, just goofy, we're back living in our childhood experience that Paul and I had when we played Goof Troop. Like we were giggling and laughing and just it felt so organic. And I did not expect the game, like I expected it to be good, but I did not expect it to be that good. It was nostalgia.
Awesome. I really do have to play it.
You really do, Josh.
Yeah.
We'll get you in on it because
I'm putting it off. Yeah,
so much fun. And yeah, it absolutely blew me away. I can't wait to play it again. I've even like my niece doesn't even really like Turtles that much, but she said she'd play it with me just because of how much fun I keep saying it is.
It's so fun.
I mean, it is the perfect homage to both the Turtles franchise and those brawler games that we grew up with.
For me, I've got a twofer. The first one is also Pokemon, but not the one that you think.
Nice.
It's Pokemon Arceus. Pokemon Arceus, I thought was going to be a steaming pile of shit. But it was probably my second favorite game that came out this year.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Next to Elden Ring, and it's a close second, actually.
Yeah.
I put well over 100 hours into that game. It's so freaking fun. Like I think that game is damn near flawless, other than kind of some of the same complaints that I have about the new Pokemon games, which is, graphically, it doesn't look fantastic.
Yeah, it looks like doo-doo butts.
Yeah,
but
I'm
there with you, Paul.
And I never had a single glitch in that game.
No,
Oh wow.
Yeah. But yeah,
I still pick that game up and play it for a few minutes.
It's so fun. It's so much fun. I love that game. I absolutely love that game. The second one, and maybe even more surprising for me, was Call of Duty. Because I never thought I'd play another Call of Duty
saying
game.
That too.
I never ever thought I'd
saying that one.
Play another Call of Duty again. But, one of my coworkers was talking about how it's going to have raids, which those just dropped. I haven't tried them yet. But and the story looked good and all that kind of crap. And so I picked it up and I started playing it. I played through the story. The story was great. The gun feel was, Destiny level good. The gun customization is excellent. Everything feels rewarding constantly because there's always something to unlock. You've got now the what is it called? Warzone is the BR, which I don't give a shit about, but I'll play that with my friends on occasion. But the DMZ is really cool. It's like an extraction style mode. I would call it like Tarkov Light. Or maybe if you haven't played Escape from Tarkov, maybe Hunt Showdown. If you're familiar with that, where you go into a large area with other players are there, and you can do it solo or with a team. And there's objectives that you have to complete. And once you complete those objectives, you fucking leave. Now, there are other enemy teams there, as well as AI, and there's bosses and loot and cool things that you can get. So you do have the option to PvP with other teams if you want. You can also join with other teams is something that they added, which is pretty cool. So that's really fun. And so you get a little of the excitement of BR without like the extreme consequences of only winning like 2% of your fucking matches.
Our favorite.
Yeah. So hold on 1 second.
Paul's still over here trying to figure out dinner.
I know. Let's get to the finale. Speaking of which.
Anyway, so and then like I said, the raids I'm very excited about. So
that sounds awesome. Yeah. Just like Pokemon.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's it. Yeah, let's finish it up. Last question, because we're like right at an hour.
Yep.
Yeah, I made it.
Look at us. We actually did it right this time.
Your most anticipated game of next year. Josh, we'll start with you because I already know what you're going to say.
I am very excited, even though I probably shouldn't be because I've been burned before and Nintendo has done this to me and they keep doing it to us on certain franchises, but I can't help myself and be excited for Tears of the Kingdom. I hope that they really led on. I wish they hadn't said it was going to be called Breath 2, honestly. Like, I really wish they had just said Tears of the Kingdom right away.
Yeah.
Like a new Zelda game and just called it like Zelda Project or like something like that. But like, because the fact that they called it Breath 2 for the longest time kind of makes it like closely tied to that. And I guess story-wise it is. But Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time are liked by very different types of fans, usually too, or at least both types of people find them to be like very different, unique games. So I'm hoping
Josh talking with his hands as he's holding his phone.
although Ocarina of Time is not comparable to Breath in my mind as far as caliber of a Zelda game, I think there is hope for Tears of the Kingdom. And I can't help but be really fucking excited. And maybe we'll get a Majora's Mask out of this. No joke. Maybe we get something incredible like a Skyward Sword. I would love that if it was unique and amazing, but I just can't help myself. I'm excited for it. I'm going to play the shit out of it. Hopefully live, honestly. I know I keep saying that, but
I would like to see
someday. Yeah, I'm excited. Who else? Paul? Zach?
Zach, go ahead.
Okay, so there's a couple of contenders here. Obviously, Spider-Man, I mentioned that earlier in the stream. There was something else that Space Marine 2. Very excited about that. And there's a few others, but I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say one that really shocked me that I'm surprised to be this excited about is Hades 2.
Yeah.
Hades 2.
Hades 2.
Yeah.
Oh, what about Hollow Knight 2 also?
Hollow Knight 2 also a contender. 2023 is looking like it might be a pretty big year for me.
It's going to be fun.
There's some awesome shit
the possibility of another Mass Effect.
Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy.
So it's going to be a banger year.
Even Zelda for you, Zach. I mean, come on.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I would never discount. I would never discount Zelda. So I'm gonna go with Hades 2 as my current most excited. But who's to say? I mean, it could go. I'm just gonna be excited all year. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm down for many drops because we've been light dropped. Yeah. We've had a really light drop this year, and although we got Elden Ring, which was incredible, and like a few other titles, I feel like it was a pretty light year for gaming, personally.
There's
a
couple of big standouts, but mostly just a light year.
100% agree. For me, Like a Dragon Ishin. I've been wanting to play this game forever. It is the Yakuza game that takes place in feudal Japan.
That sounds sick.
Yes, it looks good.
It looks amazing.
Really good. They completely remade it instead of, because people have been wanting them to localize that game for a really long time, but the people who make it were like, we don't want to, like we don't want to just move that game over. It's so dated.
Right.
So just hold your damn horses. And then they surprised us by announcing that they totally remade it, and I'm very excited about that.
The Link's Awakening
it'll be my first Yakuza game. I've actually held off on playing the Yakuza games because
you've been waffling RPD for so
people
long.
Like them. Yeah. People really like them. Yeah, they really like those games.
So I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about Hogwarts and Zelda, and there's a number of things, but that one's.
I bet Hogwarts is going to be like absurdly good. I have a feeling that's going to be one that draws in a lot of people.
I mean, obviously, I have
my wife's
excited J.K. Rowling
excited to play it.
As a librarian, I've got my opinions about J.K. Rowling, but it's like you can't help but be excited about that game.
I don't. I think she's like, it's as long as we take this for what it is, and it's like imagine if they made a true to form Lord of the Rings game. This is kind of how that feels for Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Where like the magic feels real, the characters feel like humans, but like they're doing like true mad. It's none of this bullshit like PS2 stuff where it just looks like crap. Like we needed these graphics in order for this really kind of game to exist, I think. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely excited about that as well.
Yeah, even my wife who hates video games is excited about that game. So.
Yeah, respect. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be getting that. Yeah,
well,
as long as it's not just on the PS5.
I say, I say, let's consider J.K. Rowling, but how is it any different than me playing a Lovecraft game?
I think it's
is it an exclusive?
I think it's a timed exclusive.
Yeah, it is.
I continue. I'll
look it up. Continue what you're saying. I'm going to look it up.
So, as long as this is sort of my bog standard speech to the students when they ask about it. As long as we consider the art before the artist, and understand where the artist may have shortcomings, it's no different than liking Orson Scott Card or H.P. Lovecraft or any one of these other notorious.
It is not a timed exclusive, guys. It looks like it's releasing on everything, including the Nintendo Switch, PS4.
Oh dang!
And like original or like Xbox One.
I'm going to be getting on the Steam.
Wow!
I'm going to be getting on Steam for sure.
I don't know how they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to run it on freaking the Switch and the PS4 and the original Xbox. But
it could be I don't want to say it could be a shitty game.
Let's wait and see.
It's possible.
We're proud members of the Wait and See tribe.
Let's wait and see. I'm hoping it's powerful and it's just dumbed down for the Switch, but you never know.
We'll see.
Maybe the Switch 2 is coming out.
But yeah, I really do genuinely think that 2023 is going to absolutely make up a lot of ground in terms of where 2022 kind of fell short on gaming. Just wasn't a whole lot of releases this year, but we're going to see all kinds of cool stuff next year. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. Like super excited about that.
Cool. Why not?
Well, it's Rocksteady. It's Rocksteady's return to Batman.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's huge. Yeah.
That is huge. Yeah.
Any final thoughts for the day, boys?
It was a good year, and Elden Ring was fucking amazing.
Elden Ring was,
and I actually plan on playing it.
Thank God for Elden Ring.
Thank God for Elden Ring.
Me and Colin are planning our next playthrough in January. We decided it's been long enough. I don't know what I'm going to be, but it's a very exciting game where these are things you can care about. And I'm looking back and I'm like, man, I was so deep in that world, so deep in it for months.
Yep.
And now I'm like, what's a limb grave? You know what I mean? But shit like that. Where I think back and I'm like, oh yeah, I was fucking obsessed with this game. Holy shit. And that's really cool. I think that game was just truly a world. And I thought that was really I hadn't had that in a long time in a game, and I think that this game stands out for years and years to come. Truly a work of art, and if that was the only thing we got this year, I'd say it was a good year in gaming.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, well that's the show.
Let's go eat food.
Thanks everyone for hanging out. If you're watching this live, you are on my Twitch channel. I stream on Tuesdays and sometimes Thursdays. very rarely these days. But I, sometimes I'll squeeze one.
We've been busy lately. It's
Um,
gonna be a lot easier when the new year comes around for us, I feel like.
Yeah. And then on Saturdays I stream Samurai games. I've been streaming Pokemon Conquest, which is a Pokemon strategy game that takes place during the feudal Japanese period. Very cool.
Very cool.
And yeah, then the podcast is usually on Sundays. This is probably our last one for the year. And we'll be back with you next year. Keep you guys updated. And then if you're watching it on YouTube, just like and share it and that kind of fun stuff. That's really important for us. Yeah. And then you can find me on Twitter at Ryugami-sama if that shit doesn't explode. Josh, where are you?
Gonna find me at Lord Yeshua and Lord Yeshua TTV and all my shit. And I will be streaming. I don't know how much longer I'm going to have an Instagram, honestly. I fucking hate using that shit. But I will definitely be streaming again soon. Catch me playing random banjo stuff probably is the next thing. Like maybe in the next few days. So yeah, it's fun. Playing some Magic on that too, actually. Been a while. But yeah, what about you, Zach? Where you at?
Twitch.tv/another letdown is where you can find me live when my internet decides to cooperate. I'm usually live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, although that's been rather sporadic lately. So we do Mass Effect Mondays every other week. Wednesday is my normal streaming day, so I am currently playing God of War. And Friday is like my maybe I have time, maybe I don't, in between chores. And then Saturday we do miniatures painting on Watching Paint Dry with Paul's brother Adam and my buddy Mike.
Nice.
So we're off though until next Wednesday, 1 week from tomorrow, for the holiday, and then we'll sort of improvise from there, depending on childcare, etc. So
my favorite.
Awesome. All right, everyone.
The child.
Have an awesome night. Enjoy your holidays. We'll see you guys next year.
Goodbye. See you guys. Happy New Year.